Hello everyone, this is Amritpal Singh. Welcome to the next video. Guys, in this video, I'll be talking about the topic clustering. So what is clustering? Clustering can be defined as grouping unlabeled data. So what does that mean? So far we've been working with the supervised learning type of algorithms, which include regression and classification. And the way supervised learning algorithm work is that you already have some training data and answers in that training data that you supply to the model. But in the unsupervised learning or this clustering, how the things work, right? For example, in the case of classification, let's suppose you have the input data, which could be images of apples, and you have an annotation explaining these are apples, right? And or label for these apples, and then you supply that to the model. You ask the model to learn from this data with the answers. Then you supply a new image, right? And you can ask, what is this? And it will provide the answer saying this is an apple, right? So now unsupervised learning is different, right? So in this case, we don't have answers and the model has to think for itself. For example, we might have the input data for these images, right? And without any labels, supply them to the model and ask them to group these fruits into different categories, right? So even though we don't know the category, we don't supply the categories. So the machine has no understanding which is an apple, which is a banana, and so on. So it can just see that there are certain similarities in the data, certain differences in the data, and from that it can make conclusions and create its own groups. And this is all while it don't understand what it is looking at, doesn't understand the term apple or banana. So this is the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. In a nutshell, in supervised learning, you give the model an opportunity to train where it has an answers. In unsupervised learning, you don't have the answers to supply to the model. So let's take one example. Let's look at an example of this is in business scene. In the left side, you can see here we are having X and Y axis with an annual income of customers of a store and the spending score. It is a graph between spending score versus annual income. So how often do they spend? Means we are talking about the customers here. How often do they spend? How much do they buy? All their spending patterns, all of this combined already into a spending score. So when you plot your customers, it might look like this. In this case, you can see you don't have any pre-existing categories. You don't have any pre-existing classes or group of customers to group them into. You want to create those groups, these kind of groups, right? So how we can do that, right? So in this case, you can do that with the help of clustering. But you have to apply clustering. It will show that these are the probably likely group of customers, and then you can go you could go into this further, deep digger, dig deeper and understand why this group might be emerging, what this might be in business sense, in the spending sense, we can say in the customer sense, understand how to best service these customers and to what kind of promotions to send them to one group versus another, what kind of reminders or what kind of offers to create for these different customers, and how to best use this information in your business. So that's the clustering. And you can see it's very different to what we have discussed before. Like we have discussed classification. It's a very interesting and exciting area of machine learning where the model gets to think for itself and come with the suggestions and interesting ideas. So I hope you must have understood from this short little video what is the meaning of clustering and how the supervised learning is different from unsupervised learning. In next video, I'll be explaining how the k-means clustering work. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next video.